Greetings, hello, and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Imperial Jedi. Time for another episode. This is episode number 5, and we're basically going to be picking up right where we last left off. And the goal for today's episode is, I'm really happy with the way this interchange turned out. I'm just kind of curious to see how it performs under higher traffic load. So I want to just start building over on this side. And if possible, I'd like to straighten out this highway. So we can buy this tile right here, make this go in a bit of a straighter line, extend the collector system, maybe build a new bridge right here. And I'd like to have just a little high-speed on-off for the industrial section right over here, which might just end up being temporary, just to kind of help out a little bit with the traffic right here. And I'd just like to maybe make a few improvements to the collector system itself. In the previous episode, we just put in that little high-speed turning lane, and I removed it. After watching traffic for a little bit, I think we're going to put that back in. A couple options for that, so maybe work on some general improvements and just growing the population. Because unfortunately, the landfill is just a halfway point here, so we gotta step up our game. But before we can do any of this, you can see we're getting some water icons. Everything's kind of falling apart. We're running into a weird little problem. So the water source is not producing enough water to keep up with the city's demand. So the pump is just literally pumping too much, and there's just not enough to be pumped. So we can't grow the city any further until we connect to a new water source or maybe put down some water towers. And given that this is a little bit polluted now, I don't think we're going to use that for our drinking water. So I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to put a couple water towers up here, and then maybe just drop a couple down in through the city itself. And in terms of mechanics, the water towers, 2 water towers equals 1 water pump. So we'll put those here. Not that they're really tall or anything, but they do add a nice little something to our skyline. And they don't have to be close to a body of water. I think we'll just kind of keep them here to make it seem like there's, something happening under the ground or whatever in real life. And then I'd like to maybe incorporate a couple others just into the city. But just like the water pumps, the towers, they don't need a road connection. All you need is power and pipes. So you got a lot of free roam over them. All right, so we'll just drop that in. I think that's kind of nice in the roundabout. The only thing, of course, you got to make sure is that you're not in the pollution zone, because then you'll get dirty groundwater. And I think for the other one, I want to just drop this over here. Maybe this is common where you guys live too, but over in North America, especially in the smaller towns, when you're driving by maybe one of the main highway interchanges, you might see a water tower that has the name of the city, maybe the name of one of the sports teams, or like not the mayor, but like, maybe like a local sports hero or something like that. So kind of fun. I think we'll drop one of those there. And then just to add a little bit more realism, what I'm going to do is just go grab a, turn this off too. I'm going to grab a dirt path, and I'm going to extend this just from over here on the road, and just kind of make it seem like there's like a little bit of a maintenance access. And then no one like really will be walking on this, because I don't know who's going to get over here, but just for make-believe. Maybe drop a few rocks down too. And just a couple more trees. That's kind of fun, right? Alright, let's connect this, put it back onto 3-speed, because for us to change the highways, it's going to be, like, very, very expensive, so I want to start saving for that now. Yeah, I like that. Water problems are saved. We are ahead of the game. We do need to get some power over here, though. So let's make that our next priority. So I might, unfortunately, lose some of those trees I just put down, but we'll put them back in right afterwards. And I'd like to still be able to do our upgrade to this spot right here. So maybe we can just go like that with the power line. And not to push my luck, but I'd like to maybe try removing this connection here now. And I would not stress about the flooding. Like, we just obviously reconnected this, right? So a little bit to be expected. Yeah, I think we're safe to remove these. Because the power lines, they do block zoning squares. I don't think they look terrible, but they look a little bit bizarre sometimes in the residential settings. And they look nice in, like, the rural or like near your interchanges, right? Or in the industrial areas, for example, right? That kind of works for me. All right, I'm happy. Let's do it. Keep it. Water seems good. Okay, so some fun stuff we can do with the hills here, because on the consoles you can't terraform. Everyone's saying this in the comments, so I'm going to try and cut back as much as possible on the terraforming. So what we can do is just take a look at our terrain height view. We can see we're being dealt this beautiful plateau right up here that we can work with. And not too steep of a hill, but a nice hill right here. And this is almost like working beautifully. We have this nice little sloped approach. So what I think we can do is take our 6-lane road, we'll come about halfway up the hill, we'll turn that into a tunnel, and then we'll tunnel up to about the middle point of this plateau, come out here, but then we can have some roads that follow more or less the contour line. So we can have a hilltop community, but have like a really cool, efficient 6-lane road access, without it being too steep or like crazy bridges or anything like that. And then if you did not want to do, say, that approach, and I'm not going to do this, but I'm just going to kind of show you really quickly, you could do a kind of like a corkscrew bridge. Think kind of like a roller coaster, but not as scary. So you go out straight like this, maybe I can straighten a little bit of it, and you would progressively lower the height down as you go, like that kind of stuff, right? Maybe even make into a tunnel. I mean, like whatever you want, right? Just another way to help scale down instead of doing these massive bridges with these giant drops. I might maybe make that a little bit more compact, and I would probably try to make the slopes look a little bit nicer, but I think you get the general idea there. There we go. Now I would like a little bit of symmetry. I don't necessarily want this to be a perfectly boxed out grid up there, but I still want some roads just to be in line with the rest of them, because we're doing a pretty good job so far of keeping everything lined up, so I might as well keep that going. So I'm just going to draw this out. I'm not really going to care about the slope. All I want, though, is just this as a point of reference. So we can even delete all this extra stuff right here. Now I just have something that's in line with everything else in the city. Because the 6-lane road, even though we could totally go in a nice straight line, I think it will just look nicer with a gentle curve in it. So we'll start going like this. I think we're just far enough up the hill. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit further down for the tunnel entrance. And the tunnels, I mean, just like the bridges, you can see once you get past the 12 unit mark, it shrinks, just like that. So if you want a smooth tunnel, try and go for that maximum length. If you don't mind it being a little bit steeper, totally no problem if you want a shorter one. Obviously, if you're kind of stuck for space, no problem as well. So let's just come out at about a 45-degree angle right about here. Oh, that's fun. I like that. And it's a shame we can't have both these views on at the same time, but we'll just try and do our best here. So this we can see is in line with the rest of the city. If we were just to do a gentle follow of the contour line, you can even see it. It wouldn't really look all that nice because it's too close to this. It's just, I don't think that looks nice. So what we're going to do is over-exaggerate the fact that these are off-symmetrical. So we can go like this. And then that would look nice if it's in line with that too, right? So I'll do this often, and I'll do it with the cheapest road possible. And you do get a partial refund, so it's not really the worst. But I'll just draw a whole bunch of these roads in, just to try and get some, just some symmetry throughout. And we'll do our best to line these up now. And then, I know you guys don't have it on the console version, so again, I'm going to try and cut back, but afterwards you would just terraform and help blend everything together, right? Or just push things out for more even. There we go. And I'm going to keep the wider roads towards the center, and we're going to have more narrow roads on the outskirts, because they have less traffic on the outskirts, and I don't want this to be like a concrete jungle kind of feel. But we'll still link these up. And we'll just box this out. This is kind of fun already. And I'm thinking more so as kind of like a suburb in the hill here, but we could definitely have some high density buildings. That should look pretty sharp, having some nice height to the skyline here. And then this little lip, it does kind of come up a bit, so what we could do is maybe again use this to our advantage. I'm going to make this into a T intersection. Maybe even come out on a straight line. And now we can have some housing that follows the bottom contour of the hill as well. And then these could possibly meet up with another tunnel system if we buy this tile. I like that a lot. This is cool. Coming together quite nicely. So this would not be the most efficient connection, just because you just wouldn't get enough traffic volume through here. We can have that as a secondary connection, and then I think I'm going to do the same thing that we just did over there. We'll have an avenue come through, and just follow maybe the profile of this. It's like a little tricky to get to work, but I think we can still make it happen. So what the guidelines are here for. Perfect. And that way, just secondary traffic over here, if this is a little bit backed up, you have that other option. People leaving this way would go left, and then, you know, so it's not as... But more traffic taking the 6-lane road to go into town would turn right. That's why this is getting the wider lane. And then this possibly should be like this, actually. Yeah, okay. And I'm just noticing that in terms of demand, we have quite a bit right now for industry. I'm just going to take a quick little break from our build over there. I'm going to attach just one extra little neighborhood on. Let's get that right in there. And again, just temporary, but keep on adding to our industrial zone. Okay. Now it would be really nice to try and follow the same general curve as this road right here. So this is going to be a little bit challenging, but not impossible to do. So I'm going to go out. What would we say this is about? Here's the 10. So that's about 18 or so units. This is going to be kind of tricky. So we're mostly going to eyeball this, but I'm going to try my best. And what we're going to do is just line up with the node points. And if we need to, we can just go one at a time, just until it looks nice and straight, nice and even. You can see I know when I'm in the right spot when the blue lines all line up there. See how that's the wrong one, see how that's the right spot, wrong spot. So just nice and slow. And again, partial refund in case we mess up, right? Now this is a little bit tricky because it's grabbing the wrong point. So we're going to have to be cautious, but I think that's it right there. And look at that! Cool, plan of attack, and it worked. So it's not symmetrical, but it's also not off-symmetrical. I guess if that makes any weird sense. And it's not a grid too, but I think it just kind of flows nicely. And we've got good access so far with the roads. I think we're going to be doing okay for traffic. And I'd like to maybe have another split just in the middle right here going this way up to there. If that's not too steep, I might even keep that. That's a little too steep. So let's go a bit wider just to help with the contour approach. And then we'll do the same thing again. We're going to have a tunnel that exits just right up here at the top. Awesome. Cool. Very happy with that. We've spaced these intersections just far enough out. We're, I think, about 10 or so units, so we shouldn't run into any traffic here. And I've kept them as a T intersection instead of making this into one four-way, and that should help with a bit of a faster timing on the light cycles. All right, let's do a little bit of zoning here because I still want to get the highway straightened out. So why don't we pick this spot here as the first of our new residents, and we'll see how traffic starts going in and out. And remember, it's V and B if you want to go above and below ground, and then page up and page down, obviously, if you're like that. That was for the bulldozer, the B and the B and the V. Okay, just going across. And we'll have to, for sure, bring some services in. And this 6-lane road right here is going to be just more or less an access road, so I'm not going to have a million streets connecting to it. We'll just have a few of these major duplexes just running off that. And I've done this often in other cities where I've just had a road run almost parallel to it, and I've just had a row of trees. So it helps a little bit with the noise pollution. Aesthetically, I think it looks really great. We'll kind of see how this ends up turning out. And sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get them to work, but you can actually have intersections between these two as well. So let's try and get that to work. Oh, that was an easy one, never mind. And then what's really neat, and I have no idea how or why the game does this, but we're totally lucky. It treats this as one intersection, so the timing of the lights and everything just works beautifully. You have to be one unit in space, though. That's really darn cool. Okay, so let's get some services in before we zone. We'll make sure we get the water and the pipes and everything as well. And we'll just go up the hill here. And these power lines, they could end up being just temporary. We'll might find a better way in eventually. We'll just bring these in just to the heart of it for the moment. And we're going to have to just use all the services through the board. So you can see why we've had it on 3-speed this whole time here, because all the money we've saved up we're just about to spend. And I still like to obviously start with our highway rebuild. All right, so healthcare, death care, definitely want to worry about those. Maybe we can tie that in with that intersection there, that's nice. A little bit of a slope, but not too bad. Some fire coverage. And then we get some police. Alright. When we can afford it, we'll put it in the high school, but the priority will be the elementary school. And so I'd like to zone on the inner roads only. I don't really want to zone too much on this 6-lane road. Gotta make sure we still bring the pipes over. And just to make sure that no one moves out right away, I'm just going to put a bit of commercial in. But let's get the pipes in here now. And we're going to pop up. Oh no, okay, so the first of our garbage dumps is full, which was kind of expected, not the end of the world. We're about halfway to our population goal, which is also not bad, but we may end up having to put down a total of 2 or 3 of these. So we're going to have to just step up the game a little bit here. And then these, like I said, they are not permanent, but they're, until we get an incinerator, wherever we end up placing these, they're going to be just stuck there for a while. So we could have a small little back access road, just as a temporary thing, just for some garbage pickup. And if we want, even make it look a little bit cleaner, use that same old trick where we have a road in line. So just put down 2 more just for the moment. Buy some extra time here. Because if we don't address the garbage problem, people will start to move out, and having this much trash pile up is also a fire hazard. So I don't want to strain our services in that sense. You might see a big line of garbage trucks, but I think we're okay. Alright, back to this. And then, obviously, don't be afraid to fix your pipe network. Seeing how we're just kind of like bringing these in the way they are now. It might not be efficient in the overall grand scheme, so we could just one day destroy them and put new ones back down. Okay, so let's go. Just get them connected. All right. Let's continue zoning over here. I'd like to maybe have some commercial actually in this block. And then we'll switch gears and start our highway construction now. If that connects nicely, that would be great. That's too sharp of a bank to the right. I don't like that. There we go. Off to a good start with the traffic. I like that a lot. And just another random little tidbit here. You don't want to have these overly long stretches of road without any intersections between them, because the cars won't do a U-turn until they get to a node point. So I'm just going to make that into a smoother curve. So this would be a perfect spot if you wanted to have some cul-de-sacs, some dead ends. Because that way, like, you know, service vehicles and everything, they don't have to go all the way down. So you can have a few, you know, just pop their head out right here. Gives a chance for vehicles to turn around. Alright, cool. Honestly, really good start to this little area here. I like this a lot. So what we'll do is we'll fill in the height differences with some trees. You can see as we just kind of go, if we get one more road sneaking across, we can get some more houses in. Get the nice staggered look upwards. I think we're using the terrain just to our advantage here. You can see where the building is. Nice in the plateau area. Following the contour lines to a certain extent. Alright, let's start doing some highway construction here. So what might end up happening is I'll probably just start this, and then I'll maybe finish it off camera. Because we don't really have that much money, all things considering. So I won't be able to do the tunnel system, but I will be able to straighten these out. And I think when we buy the next tile over, that'll give us a chance to fix this wonky bridge and everything. And then maybe at that point we can either tunnel or terraform. Hopefully by then we'll be swimming in money as well. And we'll just have to use make-believe just until we get these connected, because they're going to be a little bit awkward looking, this transition, but just to get us going. And in terms of money, we're just right down to the bitter end here. So let's do a simple little connection to get this back in. Don't have the money to go the whole way down, unfortunately. But that would be the plan, just to get the collector system a lot further down. And then I would like to have maybe a little bit of an upgrade. In the previous episode, we did have that high-speed turning lane here. I think we're going to put that back in. I think we'll end up making the collector lane into 2 lanes. And then, yeah, like I want to have a little on and off point right here. But I think we're going to, yeah, I think we'll call it an episode right here, guys. So great start to the foothills. I'm really excited to see how this neighborhood turns out. We're doing that same kind of curvy effect here. We got good spacing between the roads, so it's that same kind of feel through the city. So I like that. It's by no means a grid at all, which I think is great. Traffic's doing pretty well so far, and this is gonna be pretty fun. I'm really excited. All right, let me know your thoughts, guys. Drop me a comment. Feel free to share some screenshots. We have a Discord going. Check the YouTube page for that. Make some friends, hang out, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Looking forward to that too. All right, all the best. Happy building. Take care of yourselves.